kopa government ya rona put South Africans first. Bari di vigilante. Personally tunya. You are xenophobic. Personally tunya. When we na kweri miko maponya mon. Baba mba tema kiba bo tabang, kiba bo shoba, kiba bo sticks. The president came to us to say well done. But today, who gave you the permission to take the law in your own hands? Oh, yeah. Today. Territory tunyateki matekana. Hauna mutopulse ngore. Santente tunyate.
Operation Dudula, from streets to clinics and schools. Imagine being chased away from a clinic when you are sick, or being told your child can't go to school, not because of who you are, but because of where you were born. This is the reality for many foreign nationals in South Africa today, and at the center of it is a movement called Operation Dudula. But what exactly is Dudula? How did it rise, and why it is so dangerous?
Bongata ba batho ba senya molketioning a se batho ba molketioning. Bongata ba batho ba tshwarang ba re ba isang ko maporiseng. Bongata ba bona batho bao ba ke batho ba tswang kantle hle batho. So we are saying to our government, we are saying to our politicians, we are saying to the law enforcement that at some point the people will rise, and when that point comes, the people will come in.
What is Operation Dudula? Operation Dudula began around 2021, first in Soweto. The name itself means to push back or to drive out. What started as protests against crime and unemployment quickly turned into an organized campaign against foreign nationals. Led by activists like Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini, Dudula mobilized township residents to remove foreigners from spaza shops, from rental rooms, and from jobs. Their message was clear. Foreigners must leave so South Africans can take back what is theirs. Dudula in action. Over time, Dudula expanded its targets. Spaza shops. They raided and shut down small businesses run by foreign nationals, accusing them of taking over the township economy. Clinics and health facilities. Dudula members accused the migrants of collecting medication to sell in their countries and physically blocked them from receiving health care. Schools. They announced the plans to remove foreign children from classrooms, claiming they burdened the education system. This is not just protest, it is harassment and exclusion, actions that violate South Africa's constitution and international refugee laws.
But firstly, these human rights commissions, the human rights activists, they need to come clean and come out and tell us who are they? Who are they actually supporting, and who are they advocating for? Because to us it looks as if they are advocating for foreign nationals. Now I'm saying this because in many incidents, that we had kids that died of poisonous food. We did not see them. We have kids that are being raped by foreign nationals. I mean, we see it on all social media platforms, but they are nowhere to be seen. But immediately when you touch the issues of foreign nationals, and then they come out, they even have the audacity to take us to court. Now, we are, as Operation Dudula, are the mouthpiece of South Africans, and nobody will stop us, because we cannot just sit back and watch our country going down the drain. Mm-hmm. I mean, our buildings are dilapidating. These people are hijacking. I mean, these people are criminals. The minute you cross the border and you don't have a proper document, that makes you a criminal. Now, why are these NGOs advocating for criminals? Are they promoting criminality? Are they promoting a lawless country? So I'm still saying we're going to close them down, because South Africans are hurtful. And we are not vigilantes. I mean, if you have seen yesterday's operation, because it's all over social media platform, we asked the police that now that you're here, please intervene. We have properties that are hijacked by foreigners, whether they're legal or not, but they're not supposed to be occupying those properties. Properties are belonging to the city. If you check on the system, it tells you that the property belongs to the city, but you have a non-South African who lives in those property. We had complainants because we are invited by the community of Rosettenville to say that we are tired.
I wanted to ask who gave you the mandate. Yes.
We are invited because the crime rate is too high. I mean, there's killings in Rosettenville and people are unsafe. And they say it's because of all of these hijacked properties that are harboring illegal migrants, prostitution, drugs that are happening in those properties. I mean, that's the same reason why we went to the city and said, you need to intervene because
illegal connections, water, rates are not being connected.
The city is not getting any revenue because those people have connected illegally. I mean, it's not that we just sucking things out of our own minds and all that, but it's evident. Mm-hmm. We've seen it. We've seen illegal connection and all that. And unfortunately, there's no vigilantism, but we have police that chooses not to do their job. Mm-hmm. We see the police vehicles roaming around, using our tax money because that fuel that's poured in those vehicles is our tax money. But they're doing nothing to help the communities. Every time when the community goes to the station and seek help, they're being told that there are no vans. Not even the station commander is willing to help these people. These victims, the people that invited us there, they've lost their properties. I mean, there's a lady that was interviewed and explained how she lost her property in the hands of foreign nationals.
Why Dudula is popular? But why do people join? For many South Africans living in poverty, Dudula speaks to their frustrations. They see high unemployment, poor housing, crime, and overloaded clinics. And Dudula gives them a simple answer: blame foreigners. Politicians' rhetoric also fuels this fire. When leaders say foreigners are the cause of joblessness or failing services, Dudula takes those words to the streets. The dangers of Dudula. The danger is that Dudula creates a culture of vigilantism. Instead of addressing corruption, inequality, and mismanagement, the anger is redirected to the most vulnerable. Foreign nationals become scapegoats for problems they did not create. Families are displaced, small businesses are destroyed, and children's futures are stolen. South Africa, a nation once celebrated for its struggle against oppression, is now seeing movements that mirror the same exclusion it once fought against.
Let me take you back when Operation Dudula was formed. Our very first march was to the city of Joburg because it started in Joburg. And one of our demands was that we want the city to reclaim back the properties because they need to be turned into RDP houses. I mean, the situation was not as bad as it is today. That was one of the demands, to say that we want to help. How do we help each other claim the hijacked properties in the CBDs? But no one listened to us. I mean, we've been to all the departments. We marched to the Department of Home Affairs. We've marched to even the president himself. We went to the union buildings and we handed over a memorandum that, we even asked that, can we have a state of emergency when it comes to immigration? Because it's out of hand now.
What report back are you getting?
We're not getting any report back, not even an acknowledgement of our memorandum. But hey, you would see the president all over talking about how we are vigilantes. And yet we are trying to...
Have you been necklacing people during your parades? Have you been killing people? Are there people that are maybe hijacking some of your protest action as vigilantes and making it as if it's Operation Dudula that is actually necklacing those individuals?
There was xenophobic attacks before Operation Dudula was born.
Yes.
Ever since Operation Dudula was born, we try by all means to act within the confines of the law. You'd see in all our operations, because we apply for Section 205 when we have our marches and operations, and we are granted permission to go.
Human stories. I met a woman from Zimbabwe who runs Espaza shops in Johannesburg. She works 12-hour days, supporting her children and even employing 2 South Africans. Yet Dudula members accuse her of stealing jobs and threaten to shut her down. These are not criminals. They are human beings trying to survive, often adding value to our economy.
We are here, but they chase us. They said they don't want foreigners to get help here. Even last week I was here. Last week I was here. We get chased. But this thing that is happening, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Even other countries, there are foreigners, they get help from the government clinic. There is no country that they will not be foreigners, never. But we want the government to do something as soon as possible, because this is not fair. This is not fair. Government hospital is supposed to help anyone. Even other countries, other people, they get help. So we're looking for government to do something as soon as possible, because our babies are on danger. They're not getting a help, immunization. So this thing is very hard for us.
Conclusion. Challenge to viewers. Operation Dudula may claim to fight for South Africans, but in truth, it distracts us from the real fight against unemployment, corruption, and failing governance. So here's the question for you. Does Dudula represent the people's voice, or is it just misdirected anger? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's have this conversation. In episode 4, we look at the human cost of xenophobia, the families displaced, the children denied schooling, and the communities torn apart. Don't miss it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Inkari It's Time. Thanks for watching and take care.